Good morning, my esteemed followers, for joining me on this data analytics series using Python. Our previous videos will be using Microsoft SSIS tools, but today we shall be looking at Python series. So let's look at what we have on the screen. If you don't already have an Anaconda platform, you need to download it. Then from there we can launch our Jupyter notebook, which is our main IDE for this analysis. So for the download of the Anaconda, you can get it here. Look at the URL. You can see Anaconda installer here. Once it's downloaded, you launch it from your system and you come to this environment. Once you launch it, click on environment as you can see here, then it takes you to Jupyter Notebook. You can launch the Jupyter Notebook, and once you launch it, it takes us to this very environment. So you can see it's running from a localhost environment. So let's go by creating the first notebook that we shall be using. And according to our steps here, we shall be importing Panda libraries, which is very useful in the Python environment. Then we can create some data list, then try to write to files like Excel, CSV, and read from it. This is what we'll be doing today. And we can equally look at some library functionalities to view the file structure. So let's move on without wasting much of our time. So let's start by what we should have done first if we don't have the current Pandas is to try to first of all do pip install Pandas. So once this is done, you try to run. If you don't have it, you will see it trying to tell you. If you have it, it will tell you it already existed. If you download and install it, then the next thing is for us to install Pandas itself. Okay, just a minute. So after installation, like you can see, it says requirement already satisfied. So since it's already satisfied, we now have to import Pandas as let's see it as PD. Import Pandas as PD. We run. All right, it's now recognized. So we can go on to say, okay, let's try to create a little data that we can use to test what we are trying to prove today. I can use a curly brackets. Let me say data. This one to take us time. Let's use a combination of list. Can have a list item inside. Let me say name, for instance, just to reflect some rows and columns. Say name. Say key value per approach is a list. Let me say first one. Let's say first one, comma. We're looking at the 3 columns. Let me say at least. Let's say this way, Bob. That name I can call it Ocon. Okay, all right. Let's have another item, another column now. Let's have a age. Have a age. Have a age. Let's have age. Let's try to have a age. Like I said, have age. Okay, age. What are we looking at for age? We are equally looking at a list. Let's say the first one, this could be direct 25, okay, 24, 20, 19. is at the edges of the names above. We can look at city. Can look at city where they come from. Okay, city. Let's have a list as well. List items. We have a city. We equally have a three. Let's look at three. Okay, let's say Benin. Benin. Let's say Benin City. Benin. Lagos. Let's have Lagos. Lagos. Let's have Ibadan. Okay. All right. Let's use. We're going to use DataFrame object to hold this. So we've created a data. Let's use DataFrame to hold it. You can say df is equal to pandas pd dot DataFrame data. So it holds the rows and columns. We can now print it out by saying pd. So let's see how this goes. If there's no error, we'll get it right. Let's run it. Okay, if there's an error, let's quickly correct it. Let's correct it and move on. All right, okay. I ran it. It is displaying what I expected it to display. So take note that the tab indentation must be the same. That was one of the reasons it didn't run before. I corrected it. It's running right now. So we have been able to write this to DataFrame and display it. So what we need to do next, let's try to write this to Excel file and see how it will go. Okay. So in writing this to Excel file, we have to, don't forget, is the DataFrame that we are trying to write to Excel. Now we can say df because our df is already what we have here. Df dot to underscore Excel. We now have some parameters here. Let's look at, for my own, I have a folder. Let me check the folder where I want to write my items to. I can trace my folder like this. Let me trace my path. If I don't want to use the current directory, I can write this. And let me go there and to specify the path. Then the sheet name. Excel is very much important about the sheet name. Sheet underscore name. You have the is equal to the sheet name. Then you have to look at the index. So when you look at this 0, 1, 2, these are the index. When we are writing it, we don't want it to show. That is exactly what I'm trying to see. I can call this one sheet 1, sheet 1. Then the actual, so the part, I have to change this part to double slash. If I know the root directory, the current root directory, I can just put the file there without any issue. So let me say test data, test data dot slss. So with this, I expect it to go to the folder where I specified. Then we can see if the content are the same. So let's equally try this. Let's run this and see. All right, df line 1 sheet. Okay, let's quickly correct this as well. Yes, it's a syntax error because I did not actually comment this I need to put yes, I need to put single quote to indicate it's a folder path. Okay, let's check the folder whether it is written there. Okay, it's not there, it's not written. Let's find out what's happening. Guess I was in the wrong box before. Everything is correct. We have the folder path, we have the sheet name, we have the index, this 01 that we don't want it to write. So let's see. Okay, I believe it's written. Let's check the folder. Okay, you can see it's here. So let's check if the content is what we have on the board. Let's quickly check. All right, here we can see the three fields: name, age, city, Alice, Bobocon. So this is how we can write to a cell. Let's equally try to write this, to read this one out to the screen. So we have to read from that same screen. Let's use a df df equal to pandas dot read underscore cell. Let's indicate the path where it's running from. It's going to read from. Let's use this. In reading, we are interested in the path and the sheet name. It says very much concerned about the sheet name. Let's say PD. So we have two options. We can decide to write print df. If you use print df, you discover that what is displaying. Okay, you can see the same thing, display age and the rest. But we can equally say just pd or df. I mean df. Let's see how the differences will be. Okay, I say this is more structured. It's more aligned. So that's why I prefer using a df. So we have read from the Excel sheet. So what, like we said, you can see reading to Excel sheet, you have the part, the sheet name and the index. Then reading from it, this is exactly the command we use. So it's a very straightforward. So let's do the same thing to CSV and see how it goes as well. So let's try to look at reading what we have. I have a CSV file here. Let me try to see how I can read this. Okay. So we're trying to talk about reading and writing to a CSV file and a cell. So let's read to this. I can say data frame. Data frame is equal to PD. That is pandas dot pandas have to read underscore CSV dot read underscore CSV. CSV we are not looking at. Okay. And we don't have a sheet name on that CSV. Let me quickly comment this. Let me put the right file path. Let me collect the item name. This is the folder. Okay. Let me read. This is where I want to read from. Let me copy it. Control C. Right. Let me take to backslash again. .csv. Then the index. Do I need any index? No. So let's write it out. Let's say df. Let's see how this goes. When I can read the content, what I'm having in that file. Okay, I have an error here. Okay, I've not equally specified that it's a part. These are things that are very, very important in playing with the tools like this. Okay, you can see exactly what we are seeing on the screen. This is what I have in the Excel. This is what I have. If I open the Excel, it's the CSV file. That is what we will see inside. This is the CSV itself. Let me try to open it. Okay, you can see I have just 6 items inside. It comprises of payroll, salary item, pay items. So this is what we are seeing on the screen as well. Where is it again? Okay, this is what we are seeing on the screen. We have been able to read from a CSV file. So let's try to write a CSV file too. Maybe this same content. Let's see how it goes. Let's have, because the current DF now, which is a data frame, is this content we are looking on the board. Let's try to say df dot to underscore CSV, then underscore CSV. Let's put the part. Let me go back to the same part. Let me pick everything here. Let me put everything here. Same part. Let me now put it output. Say output. Sorry, structure. Then I have to talk about the index. I don't want the index to be written along with it. Index is equal to false. Index equal to false. Let's see how this goes. Check if it is written there. Run that block. Oh, output index is equal to false. df to underscore CSV. Let's check what's playing out here. Let's check the error. So I've just reviewed the part. Make sure that these lines are correct. Run this. As run. Let's see the output. You can see the output size structure. One CSV as we have here. It's already here. So this is exactly what we have here. Initially, we read out from we're able to read from the CSV file. It's how to read from CSV. If I have pandas.read underscore CSV, the same thing for Excel. So basically, this will form the basis of our data manipulation. Once we bring it from different sources, we can aggregate and start doing transformation on them. So let's look at how we can get some basic information about the file that we're interested in. So we can use an item like a df, let's say df.dataframe.info. For instance, this will give you a clue about even the object you are dealing with or the data. You can see, for instance, I have a fixed salary structure and it's saying not known, 6, not known. I have 6 records, none of them is known. Grade, basic salary, all of them. You can see even the type. Like grade 9 is saying it as a float. Driver allowance is seen as a float. These are objects. So from here we can get some basic information. We can equally use to display maybe some rows. We can have some to display. We can equally have df.describe. Let's see what describe will bring for us. A statistical summary of the table item we are dealing with. You can see the count. The total count is 6 records. That's what it's saying. You have 6 for grade. You have all of them. There are 6 records. You have the mean. The grade, if you want to take the mean, the average mean, that's what it is. The standard deviation, the minimum, the maximum. So you can see we can play with statistics here. So basically, this is where I want us to stop today. Next time, what we'll be doing is trying to manipulate this data, try to run some queries against them. Then from there, we'll migrate to SQL database, how we can pull data from there, extract, then update or transform, then load to another before we cannot talk about the deployment. How can we run it in automated way without manual input as we are seeing here. We build, export as a Python file, then go and deploy to a production environment. These are things we'll be looking at. So thank you for your time today. I appreciate, and I will very much be encouraged if you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my post, and make positive comments. We'll see you again. Thank you.